Chapter 9. Naruto Uzumaki. Miklot said with an interested expression as he looked at the blonde who gave everyone quite scare. Naruto-san, what's your occupation? I don't recognize you, so you must not be a known knight. He said this assuming the protective aura he had for Emilia was due to knights' loyalty towards their master, and the fact that he was standing with the knights. The blonde shinobi put his hands behind his head with a smile. Let's just say I'm a guest at Roswell's mansion. He said with a light-hearted laugh, as if the situation they were just in never happened. More than one person looked at him with disbelief. How could someone just change their mood so radically? Emilia sighed with relief at Naruto's new behavior now that the insults that were thrown at her no longer hurt. She didn't like his action earlier, but she admitted him making a scene gave her enough time to once again gain her courage back. Hey Naruto. She called as she walked toward him with a hand in her chest, easing her breathing. What's up? He asked. Thank you. She said softly with a smile as she walked back to the center. Naruto smiled softly as he went back to the knight's side, but he noticed the stares from everyone. He blinked in confusion before he remembered the little joke that he played to the nobles saying that he would do something unspeakable to them. He was amused, their faces were hilarious, and he taught them a great lesson for bad-mouthing Emilia, a win-win situation in his book. Did they seriously believe that he would destroy entire castle except Emilia? If so, that would be laughable. That taught them a lesson. He thought smugly. But what about the feeling you got from the girl in the white dress? Matatabi asked out of the blue, reminding him of more pressing matters. That's a difficult question to answer with the lack of evidence. We can't just point fingers to her and call her evil just because she has a bad personality, much less now that she is a candidate to rule the land. And the worst part is, I don't know how she became a candidate. If it was an evil feeling that I got from her, then I cannot allow her to become the king. His negative sensing ability picked something up and it felt evil, but it was so fast that he couldn't determine whether it was a bad thought that passed through the girl's head or it was something far more sinister. It felt familiar, didn't it? Kurama asked. Yeah, almost like a spirit creature, similar to the ones that Emilia summons. Maybe, Anastasia is being influenced by a spirit creature. Can they even do that? Naruto thought as he looked at Anastasia quizzically. Something was definitely wrong here. He was thinking about the recent developments when a light rumbling sensation reached him that he would have missed if it wasn't for his heightened senses. Just before the royal election began, smoke rose from the ground all over the candidates. Felt's scream was heard as Reinhard quickly reacted and cleared the smoke with a simple swing of his sheathed sword. The absence of smoke revealed Ram carrying Felt. Old man Ram. Naruto was surprised. How did Ram enter the throne? Looking down, he was further surprised to see a hole in the ground, which would explain how he got inside. He saw the knights unsheathed their swords and run toward Ram. The knights tackled him down on the ground as they tied his hands with rope. Naruto thought Reinhard brought the two with him, and by the looks of it, he was wrong. I don't know who you are, but for infiltrating the castle, you must die. Marco was shocked as he saw the knights' swords be split right in the middle by an unseen force. It was Naruto who broke their swords in one swing with his wind-covered kunai. Emilia was just stunned when she saw Naruto stop the knights from killing Ram. Naruto, stop. You'll only make this worse. She yelled. What is the meaning of this? Aren't you the follower of Emilia-sama? One of the knights spoke. I'm sorry, but I'm not allowing you to kill this man that is family to Felt, one of the candidates to become the king. Naruto said seriously as he looked at the knights. If you do, you'll have to face the consequences. Ram looked up in confusion at Naruto. Even though he knew him, he couldn't understand why he was going so far to save him. Family? Emilia thought with shock as she heard those words from Naruto. Fine. I'll do your stupid royal selection. Felt accepted as she pointed her finger at Ram. That old man is my family, so treat him with care. Very well. Marco said. Now that the little miss was participating once again in the election, the old man was untouchable unless Felt said otherwise. Naruto sheathed his kunai and watched the knights carry Ram to the treatment room. On the second thought, he realized something as he looked at Reinhard with narrowed eyes. Was this part of your plan? He asked. The timing for Ram's surprising appearance made it seem like something pointless and out of the blue. Ram had no reason to appear and take Felt. It simply made no sense. Naruto smirked back and he walked back to the knight's side. He didn't buy a single word spoken by Reinhard. Attention everyone. All of the candidates are finally here. The royal selection will now begin. So, it's true. Emilia told me that you're one of the capital's most brilliant users of water magic. That means you can use healing magic, correct? Naruto asked. Yes, the water mana covers fields such as life and healing. Reinhard said as he made a hand gesture to Ferris. You were right about him. He's one of the best healers in the capital. That's awesome. Naruto said in amazement. He didn't know that water magic had healing properties because ninja normally used water to cut their enemy to pieces. In his world, the medical ninja use healing jutsu that heals people with chakra. However, in this world, the healer uses water magic and that heals people. It'll be very interesting if Naruto could bring Ferris to his dimension to meet the best medical ninja, Sakura Haruno. So, Ferris. Naruto said as he crossed his arms and looked at him. He backed away from him because he's a guy, the mental scars Haku left him acting up. Tell me about Crush. She doesn't look like the other candidates. Ah, you have good eyes. You see. Crush-sama isn't like the others because she's a skilled swordswoman. She'll show no mercy. Ferris said confidently in his lady's abilities. I see. The blonde said, it seemed they had a warrior running for king, that would explain her personality. Naruto, nice job you did back there. Reinhard said as Naruto looked at him in confusion. Everyone was disrespecting Emilia-sama because of her appearance. You silenced them and they showed respect to her immediately. I'm happy you stood up for her. You're a great follower. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to scare everyone. Naruto chuckled nervously as he scratched his back of the head. Yeah, he scared everyone pretty good with Kurama's bloodlust. Gosh, he hated those people who disliked Emilia just because she looks like Satella, a bunch of pretentious pricks. They made him pissed off at them. So, Naruto. I heard you already met Ferris and my grandfather at the mansion. Reinhard said. Grandfather? He asked, not reminding meeting someone like Reinhard before. His name is Wilhelm van Astria. You might remember his name. The red-haired knight said. I'm his grandson. Naruto blinked his eyes at Reinhard, starting to realize he's Wilhelm's grandson by looking at his eyes. Both of their eyes are the same and their presences were very similar. Really? He's your grandfather. I didn't know that. He said, having had more important things to think about. Reinhard chuckled at his reaction. That's alright, Naruto. Ferris told me that my grandfather had an interest in you. He said. The blonde shinobi was surprised that Wilhelm had an interest in him. He didn't know how to respond, but he should go meet Wilhelm again if he had a chance. If only to see what had Reinhard's grandpa so interested. I'm sure that old man will love to meet you again. Ferris said with a smile. If you're free, come visit Crush's house. Oh, and don't worry about her. I explained to her that you're a good person, so it should be okay. That'll be nice. I will come visit if I have the chance. Naruto said. Wow, it fits me perfectly. Naruto smirked as he looked at his new clothes after he brought them from the armor shop. He wore a black combat sweater with an orange line like a zipper, though his sleeves were pulled up, it was hot in the capital. Unlike in his world, he decided to wear an orange light armor beneath the sweater. He wore orange pants with a brown belt over his chest. Not gonna lie. You look badass. Sun said, having seen his fair share of warriors. Gotta change my style for this world. Naruto thought as he stretched his body out and didn't feel any problem. His new uniform wasn't bad at all. He thought his new armor would be too heavy for him to use in combat, since what they did in the capital was mostly bulky knight armor, but it felt very light and comfortable. Thankfully, he trained himself in his world because he lifted some weights and got advice from his friend, Rock Lee, so even if it was heavy he could still fight at his best. Alright, Naruto. Let's talk about the witch cult. Kurama said seriously, reminding him once again that he had enemies that needed his attention. Yeah, if I'm correct about their plan, is that they're coming after Emilia because she's a half-elf. Naruto thought as he sat down on the chair. Remember, they served Satella, so they're after her because she looks like her, maybe they think she's Satella's reincarnation or something like that. What's your plan? Chomei asked. I'm going to have use Sennin mode to search them before they do something stupid. They might also target a village, like what they did to Rem and Rams. You need to warn the villagers that the witch cultists will possibly go after them, and tell them to be on the lookout. Plus, you need to tell Emilia and the others, if there's someone that needs to know this is her. Isabu said, worried about Naruto's nice friend. Yeah, I know that. That's my plan. But I won't tell Roswell, I still don't trust him. Naruto thought before he heard someone knock on the door. He walked towards it and opened it. Emilia? Hey, Naruto. The blonde shinobi blinked in slight surprise at her appearance, but he narrowed his eyes at the tone she used to greet him. She sounded very concerned, even hesitant. He didn't do any dangerous today because he's in the capital. Well, he used Kurama's chakra to scare everyone in the royal meeting, so that might be why she was here. I like your new uniform. It matches you. Emilia said with a little smile as she looked at his new uniform. Thanks. Come on in. Naruto said as he stepped aside and let her enter the room. He closed the door and turned to her. Emilia, what's up? Emilia didn't say anything to him when she walked past him until she stopped at the bed in front. She swallowed nervously and her face glowed a pink hue. Okay, sit here. She said as she pointed her finger at the ground. Huh? Can't I just sit on the bed or a chair? Naruto asked amused as he crossed his arms. Just sit. She ordered as she sat on the ground and patted the spot next to her. Naruto stared at Emilia in confusion, but he just walked and sat on the ground with her figuring it wouldn't do any harm. Both of them sat together in silence, not uttering a word, and this was beginning to be a very awkward situation. Naruto was going to speak first, but her hand grabbed his hand and pulled him down on her lap. This sensation under his head. He looked it up at Emilia. Her face hovered above his. I know this position is weird. And, it tickles. The silver-haired girl said nervously as she laughed a little at how it felt to have his spiky hair in her lap. You're letting me rest in your lap? He blinked in surprise as his face glowed a red hue. Don't say it aloud. It's embarrassing. And no looking up here. She said as she poked her finger on his cheek to make him look away from her and covered his eyes with her hand. See, close your eyes. But, you're the one that pulled me in your lap. He said with a blush. He couldn't help it, but her lap feels very nice and soft, like a pillow. Though. What's this about? I want to talk with you, Naruto. Emilia said with a smile as she started to play his spiky hair with her hands. She stroked his hair gently and got surprised that it felt so soft, like a fox's furry. Why are you doing all of this for me? Naruto looked down at the ground for seconds and he turned his head to look up at her. It's time to tell her the truth. I hate people who badmouth you because you're a half-elf. I don't want you to go through that life, not like I did. He answered. Like you did? She asked. Yes. Naruto said as his face changed to a serious expression. He looked at her and his hair no longer having Emilia's soft hands covering them. Do you trust me? Can you keep a secret what I'm about to tell you? Emilia nodded to him, but she didn't know why his face was so serious. Of course, I trust you, and I won't tell anyone. She said. Naruto took a deep breath before he began to tell her about his life. 17 years ago, in the day I was born, my village was attacked by the Kyuubi, a sentient mass of pure destructive power and hate, some even considered it to be a demon. The leader of the village used a sealing technique in exchange for his life to seal Kyuubi on a newborn child. He said as the silver-haired girl looked at him carefully. Emilia, that child was me, it was me who was tasked to keep the Kyuubi sealed away and to bear the hate of those that had lost their families to this being. The half-elf widened her eyes with a shock when he told her the newborn child was him. His village was attacked by the Kyuubi and the leader sealed a demon on a newborn child. So, the child was Naruto. The leader placed the Kyuubi on him after he was given birth. That sounded so cruel, horrible. Why did the leader place the seal on him? Did you remember the yellow magic you saw me use? That magic wasn't mine. It belongs to my friend, Kurama. He's called Bijou and he's the Kyuubi. Have you heard that word before? Naruto asked. No, I've never heard of that type of creature before. But how come, if it was such a powerful, why do people never talk about it? She asked. Because Kyuubi didn't exist here. Emilia, I'm not from here. I come from a different dimension, one where shinobi lives and uses chakra. Naruto said. Hearing the truth from him, Emilia was once again shocked. Why you're not from here? She said. It's true. In my world, everyone uses chakra to use techniques called ninjutsu. It's very similar to your world, just not with magic. Naruto said. Emilia couldn't believe he told her the truth about his origins. jumping from rooftop to rooftop, running too fast, and the yellow chakra. It all made sense now. His abilities were new to her because he comes from a different world. Why are you telling me all of this? Your secret. She wondered. Because. Naruto paused as he struggled to tell her that he'll leave her behind and return to his world. Should he tell her truth or not? Because I was summoned here to protect your world, or at least that's what I'll do. He settled with a not yet. I see. Emilia said. You said Kurama is your friend. Why did he attack your village? It was Kurama who attacked the village, but he didn't want to do. He did because someone controlled his mind and ordered him to attack my village. Then, why did the village leader seal him inside you? The leader of the village was my father. He placed the seal in me because he knew I could learn to use that curse and use it to become stronger. He smiled as he pictured his parents. To tell you the truth, I don't remember what my parent looks like. I've been an orphan child, and I was always on my own. You see, it was similar to your life. People hated me and treated me badly because I had the Kyuubi. They were afraid of me. He was cut off from continuing his story by a hand that covered his mouth. Naruto looked up and saw Emilia drop the tears from her eyes. He could hear her sobbing, so he stops telling her his life, figuring it hit home too close. Yes, he knew that the story would hurt her feelings because their pasts were in various aspects the same. Their lives suck because they went through a lot, but they could both come out on top, and even stronger than before. Without saying any words, Naruto reached his hand up to her face and used his thumb to clean her tears. No more. No more. Emilia sobbed as she shook her head. I am so sorry about your life. I'm really selfish. She didn't know his life was like hers. Both of them went through pain and suffering. They're the same in various aspects, but Naruto's life was worse than hers. He was an orphan child that had the Kyuubi inside of him. He most likely grew with people hating him, and what the people hated him for was something not generations ago, but it was something recent with their hate and wounds fresh. Poor Naruto. Emilia didn't want him to continue telling her his life. It broke her heart. No, you're not. Look at me and I'm going to tell you the best part. Naruto said as the half-elf looked at him with her vision blurred with tears. He continued to clean her tears. In the end, I finally got to meet my parents. I never hated my mom or my dad. I know that I was loved before the Kyuubi was inside of me. So I'm happy. I'm glad that they were my parents. I made friends, and the curse that plagued me was used to better myself, and to be hailed as a hero by my village. This feeling from him, it melted Emilia's heart and caught her by surprise. Even though his parents placed Kyuubi inside of their son, he still forgave them for what they did to him. Naruto had such a good soul and was such a good person from the bottom of his heart. You never told me about your mother. Can you tell me about her? Emilia asked. Well, she's strong, kind, and scary. He said with a sweat drop. Scary? Why do you say that? You have no idea. Mothers are scary. When he said that, Emilia giggled at him. Naruto was too silly in how he described his mom. You're too silly, Naruto. She said with a slight smile. Of course, I am silly. I'm the guy who can make you laugh about anything. Naruto smiled as he made her giggles again. It was nice to hear her cute giggling and to see that the flow of tears was no longer there. Do you have another question, Emilia? Last one. You said Kurama is a nine-tailed beast. Are there more of him? She asked as she yawned. Good ears. Yes, they are 9 of Bijou. They're inside of me. Emilia widened her eyes with shock. She was making this far too many times, though talking with Naruto made her do strange things. Really? Then, why? Why did you accept them? She asked. Because they're my friends and my partners. They trust me with their powers. Naruto said, chuckling slightly at the fight Matatabi had with Kurama about not weeping on his shoulder. I understand. They seem to think highly of you. Emilia said as she stopped stroking his hair and the blonde guy got up from her lap. Then, she yawned again as she stretched out her arms. You should go sleep, Emilia. Tomorrow, we're heading back. He paused as a hand touched his cheek and made him blink. He found himself staring at violet eyes. Naruto can see so many emotions in there, so many to the point he couldn't read all of them. Her eyes were beautiful to him with such a purple color. Jiraiya once said that his eyes made his emotions very clear, that such expressive eyes were very unique. Clearly he hadn't met Emilia. The feeling on his cheek from her hand is so soft and warm. It made him grab her hand with his, not letting it go. The half-elf couldn't help but look at him with a sense of sadness. The look on his face showed kindness, respect, and dignity. For some reason, Emilia started to understand his feelings and his past. There was a reason why she found sadness in his eyes before, because Naruto lost everything who was precious to him. His parents are dead because they sacrificed their lives for him, and he left the world he was from behind. It seemed Puck was right to assume Naruto's past. Not many young people loved their home and family, but Naruto did. Looking at his eyes, she saw pain but also experience. How long had he been fighting? Emilia. Emilia heard his gentle voice as his hand rose to touch her cheek. It made her shiver at first, but she allowed the contact moments later. As Naruto's fingers brushed across her face, her blush intensified various levels. She lowered her face to look at him clearly. Naruto and Emilia's foreheads practically touched. Closing their eyes, both felt their emotions. Both of them shared their feelings and memories to show each other that they were similar. Loss. Suffering. Pain. Hope. As the two pulled away from each other, they looked into each other's eyes, content with being with the one that resembled them so much. The blonde shinobi was the first who pulled away, but two hands stopped him as he started to look at Emilia until she leaned in closer and kissed his forehead. His voice was caught in his throat as the half-elf pulled away from him with a smile on her face. "Good night, Naruto. I hope you have beautiful dreams," she said as she stood up and walked toward the door to leave his room. After she left, Naruto didn't know what to say. His eyes started to have tears as he touched them and looked at them as if looking at an alien. These tears were real, but why? He just got a kiss on his forehead by Emilia. Has she experienced this before? Why did such a simple gesture mean so much? Emilia went in her room and closed the door behind her. She jumped into her bed and pulled her blanket up that she covered her body. She couldn't believe what she just did back there with Naruto. Emilia learned the truth about Naruto. He came from another world. The silver-haired girl looked at her hand that touched Naruto's cheek. The feeling that remained was nice and warm like the other time. She saw his azure eyes full of feelings, and understood what life he had been through. When Emilia remembered Naruto touched her cheek, her face glowed a red hue and she began to cover herself with the blanket and roll in her bed. She was too embarrassed and almost died from that. I can't believe it, Emilia thought, remembering she kissed Naruto's forehead. She didn't know why she did that, but she thought that could give him a good dream. Where the hell am I? Naruto asked himself as he's standing in a dark void with nothing in sight. Kurama? Everyone? No one answered him. He tried to use bijou telepathy to communicate with them, but it didn't work. This dark void was so cold, so quiet. Naruto. A quiet, female voice called out to Naruto. The voice was sweet and pleasant, but the feeling he got from it was cold. Who's there? He asked as he looked around again in the dark void while he's walking. He found a figure. The blonde shinobi stayed sharp as he began to walk toward it. Then, he saw familiar shadowy arms fly toward him, beginning to touch his cheeks as he tried to evade them. They weren't trying to make him feel pain. But the feeling he got from them. It felt so cold, like they've been stuck in ice for a long time. I love you. Hearing the familiar female voice speaking, Naruto finally remembered it. Plus, now he could hear her voice clearly. This voice. He said as he began to run toward the person without a second thought. I'm sorry. Naruto was surprised when the female apologized to him. Her voice was sad and in pain. Why did she say sorry? Without hesitance, he ran much faster than his normal speed. At that moment, he heard a cracking noise. He looked around to see that the dark void started to break. A bright light shined through the crack and beamed at the ground. Then, he realized that the whole place was breaking apart like glass and it wouldn't let him go near the female. Wait! He yelled, but it was too late for him. The dark void cracked apart and turned into a bright light. His eyes were opened by the sunlight and the carriage's noise assaulted his ears. He looked around and saw a silver-haired girl hovering above him. She was using her lap as a pillow for his head and her hands were gently combing through his hair. Emilia? Naruto asked. You fell asleep while traveling back to our mansion. So, I used my lap for you as a pillow. Emilia said with a blush. Oh. Thanks. Naruto replied with a blush as he got up from her lap. Damn, her lap was very soft, like a divine pillow. That was a strange dream, but it felt so real. The dark void was so cold. The female voice was filled with sadness and suffering. She seemed like she knew him from before. Naruto? Emilia asked in concern as she looked at him. I'm fine, Emilia. How much till we arrive? He asked. Almost there, Naruto-kun. Rem smiled as she glanced back to the blonde man, more focused on her riding back to the mansion. Then, she suddenly felt something dangerous coming toward her. She looked around the area, but there were no enemies. The wind stopped for a few seconds. The sound of birds chirping scared as they flew away from the forest was loud. This was a warning. It warned her something is coming at them. Rem? Rem shook her head and looked at them. Naruto and Emilia looked at her with worry on their faces. Are you okay? Emilia asked as Naruto changed seats to get closer to Rem. Do you feel something? He asked as he detected worried emotions from her. He knows something wrong with her, or at least troubling her. The blue-haired maid nodded to him. Yes, I felt a disturbance. She answered. Disturbance? Emilia asked as she sat next to Naruto. What do you mean? We'll talk at the mansion. My sister and Beatrice need to know this, too. So, you think the mansion is going to get attacked by intruders? Naruto asked. Everyone gathered in the mansion when they returned from the capital, except Roswell who wasn't here. The clown guy had to go somewhere else because someone messaged him that they needed him to go there. Yes, Naruto-kun. I felt something that will attack here, but I'm not so sure when will they come. Rem said. Naruto knew that the witch cult were after Emilia because she's a half-elf. But, the problem is he doesn't know when they will come. They could come any day, attack the village first before going to the mansion. The conversation was serious because the witch cult will kill anyone, even the children. He couldn't relax until he knows that the threat of the witch cult was dealt with. However, he can use Sennin mode and try to sense them either by their energy signature or by their evil feelings. Naruto. Emilia's voice interrupted his thoughts so he looked at her. Oh yes, what is it? He asked. You were silent for a few seconds. Are you okay? She asked. I'm okay, Emilia. He replied as he looked at the group. Rem, I think I know who is coming. You probably won't like it. The witch cult. Ram said. Naruto felt pure anger just oozing from every pore in their bodies for what they did to them. They really hate them a lot. This could be a big problem. Puck said with a serious look on his face as he flew out from Emilia's necklace. The witch cult will kill whoever they see as a threat. They sometimes torture and kill just for fun. We can't let them destroy the village, Anne. He looked at Lia. Me? Emilia looked at Puck in surprise. He nodded, looking at Naruto and the others. Yes, Lia. They're here because of your resemblance to Satella and your status as a half-elf. He said. Wait a minute. Naruto said as he looked at Puck with narrowed eyes. You didn't tell her that the witch cult was after her. Why? The cat spirit lied on Emilia's hand, and looked at Naruto as he pawed the back of his furry head. I understand you're getting upset with me because I didn't tell Lia about this. If Lia asked me, I would have told her, but she didn't ask. He said. But still. You should have just warned her about the witch cult. The blonde shinobi said as he crossed his arms. We can have this conversation later. Beatrice said. We have the witch cult coming here. Can you guys beat the witch cult? Naruto asked curiously as he looked at them. Of course, they know how to fight, but he had a bad feeling about all this. We can fight, but I don't think we can take them down on our own. Rem said as she looked at Puck. Puck is the only one who can fight them. So, there's a chance that they can win against the witch cult with Puck, but they didn't know how powerful they were nor how many troops they had. Honestly, he and Puck could pretty much take them down on their own. But, what if they come at night? That means Puck can't fight because of his limit, he wouldn't be able to defend the village. Though, he preferred working with Puck, even though he could clone himself all it took was one hit to kill the clones, and as previously thought they didn't know their power nor their numbers. Well, Naruto is here with them and the battle shouldn't be that hard without Puck. The blonde shinobi could do anything to destroy the witch cult without letting them near the village. He didn't want to tell them the truth except Emilia, who knew everything about him. He wasn't ready. Anyways, he'll have to tell them the truth in time. Just in case he wouldn't use his stronger techniques, they would cause too much damage, make people make questions, and that would put him on the spotlight. Hold on. What if they come tonight? I won't be active. Puck said. What should we do? Should we contact Roswell-sama? Ram asked. We don't need his help. Beatrice said as everyone looked at her. Her eyes were serious as she looked at Naruto. We have Naruto, so we don't have to worry, right? Right. We probably won't need his help. Naruto said. Damn, the little girl caught him really good with her eagle eyes. If Puck can't make it tonight, I can destroy all of them. That's impossible. I don't believe you. Ram said. He's telling the truth. Emilia said as the maid looked at her. Naruto told me the truth about his powers. I believe in him. I believe him too, sis. Rem said. Ram looked at her sister's eyes. They're deadly serious and full of trust towards Naruto. Though, he did save Rem and stopped her berserk form, very easy she might add. Tell us, Naruto. Puck said. What should we do? Before we do this, I want you guys to know about me. I told Emilia and Beatrice because I could trust them, but I didn't tell them about their powers, my powers. Naruto said as he looked at everyone. Emilia and Beatrice. I told you too that I have 9 bijus inside of me, but you guys should know about this. Once I have 9 bijus, I can use the 9 elements they're aligned with. What? Everyone screamed at the same time. Naruto plugged his ears several seconds after hearing their scream. Yeah, I can use 9 elements from the 9 bijus. They're powerful, but their chakras are dangerous. I want you guys to remember that or else I'll end up hitting someone by accident. That's incredible. Emilia was amazed. What type of elements? Sand, lava, boil, lightning, water, fire, wind dash. Okay, that's enough. Puck said as he made a paw gesture to stop him. Damn, the blonde human was a lot more powerful than Roswell. So, Puck was right about Naruto all along. This human revealed to them that had 9 bijus inside of him, whatever those were, maybe spirits, and can use their powers to wipe out the witch cult. Using all of the 9 bijus powers, that sounded like a really powerful force. He did remember the aura Naruto unleashed the day before in the throne room to shut everyone up. That must be from one of the 9 bijus. The cat spirit is going to be honest about the blonde shinobi. If that boy was telling the truth, there's a chance he could take him down with his true form. Maybe Naruto can defeat Roswell. I think we should tell the villagers about the witch cult. Emilia suggested. It'll be better to warn them that they're coming here, and if possible evacuate them. I see your point, Emilia. I can summon my clones to guard them, just in case. Naruto said. But evacuating all the villagers to the capital will be difficult. Half of them will go to the capital. Ram said. I will lead the other half to safety in the sanctuary. Sanctuary? Naruto wondered, he never heard of that place before. It's an old village. If I'm right about this, Roswell-sama will be heading there now. Ram said. Good. He said. I think I have an idea. What is it? That's strange. Naruto said, checking for the witch cult around in the forest. He didn't found any of them, and they didn't come last night. However, he still stayed on guard. There was no telling when they would come, if it was today or not was impossible to tell without their signatures. They could probably ambush the village if Naruto went too far into the forest, so he goes back to the village and checked how the villagers were doing. The good thing was that Puck can fight as it was early in the morning. How was it? No witch cult? One of the villagers asked. No, I can't find any of them, but don't worry. I'll keep on searching. Naruto said. Do you think they will come here today? What if they target us first? Mild asked, panicking as her body shook with fear. She had to stay here until the carriages that would escort them to the capital arrived, though it was becoming increasingly difficult. After their plan of action had been decided, Naruto and Emilia told the whole village that the witch cult was coming. Everyone was scared, why wouldn't they? Those people killed for enjoyment, not to mention the sick tortures they could be subjected to if the cultists weren't in a forgiving mood. Naruto understood why they were scared, they didn't want to end up like the other villages in the past. But, they needed to calm down and not to be afraid of them. These people destroyed Rem and Ram's village. That just pissed him off. Not only were Rem and Ram in danger, Emilia was too. May the blessing of the spirits be with you. Emilia prayed as her hand was placed on Naruto's heart. Be careful, Naruto. Believe me, Emilia. I won't let you down. Naruto said with a smile as he looked at Rem and the others. I will let you people know when I'm done searching. Be careful, Naruto-kun. Rem said. Don't die. Beatrice. Naruto chuckled at the last words from Beatrice when he had the flashback. She sure had a bad time communicating her feelings. They're coming. I can sense them. Kurama warned. Right. I'm going to warn them. Naruto thought with a nod as he planned to walk back to the mansion, seeing as the carriages had already arrived, but he saw the man in normal clothes with brown hair and green eyes, carrying crates and barrels into a carriage, alone. However, he seemed tired for carrying the heavy things. Hey, let me help you. He said as he rushed toward him with a smile and helped him to pick the things for him. After they put the barrels and crates into the carriage, the villager man thanked him for helping him. Thank you so much. The man said, wiping his brow. No problem, Tebeo. What's your name? Naruto asked. My name is Kedi Mudit. I'm a merchant. Kedi was silenced by a sharp pain in the middle of his chest. He looked down to see that the still smiling Naruto had plunged a kunai with blue energy around it directly into his chest. He coughed blood as he got slashed in half by a swing of the kunai. He widened his eyes with shock at his swift defeat since his brain still worked. His trembling eyes looked at Naruto with hate and fear. Only to receive a sandal to the face that ended his life. The blonde shinobi won't let the cultists live because they murdered villagers and tortured children. He believed in second chances, but these people were far too gone in the darkness. He will find them and eliminate every one of them. Letting them hurt people wasn't an option. His mission was to save the world and protect people from evil. Naruto heard a scream from somewhere in the village. Without second thoughts, he rushed to the scream until he saw the cultists holding the villagers with their daggers on the necks. He was right all along. The witch cultists are using the villagers as their hostages, probably using them for Emilia to get here. Before the fight starts, his eyes narrowed in confusion at them. The cultists are bowing to Naruto. They don't seem to want to fighting him, only focusing on the villagers. They think that I'm one of them because I smell like a witch. Naruto thought as his hold on the kunai tightens, before he relaxed and showed a smirk at cultists. Clones, do your work. The cultists were confused as they looked at him, but the villagers that were being held vanished and appeared behind them. They stabbed the cultists on the back of their necks with their kunais, killing them instantly. The villagers transformed back into Naruto's appearance and gave their leader thumbs up. The villagers were already gone. Everyone in this village were actually clones. Well, that was easy. The clone said. Yeah, the other clones should dash. Naruto heard screams from other places in the village. There it is. The other clones killed the cultists. Now what? The other clone asked. You guys stay and guard. There'll be more of them. Naruto said as he opened a mirror called Mattia. Okay, we'll be careful. Emilia said as she closed the Mattia mirror after she's done talking with Naruto. They're coming. Yeah, I know. The clone Naruto said as he stood between Emilia and Rem on a tree. They're outside of the mansion a couple meters away. The other clones are in other places where the cultists were going, so they'll be fine without worry. Now, the clone, Emilia, and Rem are focusing on the enemies who were coming in this direction. Rem sensed their auras almost approaching their position as she gripped the morning star and nodded to her allies. Emilia was prepared with ice magic and had Puck with her. The two girls are fully prepared for the cultists. The clone Naruto looked at them. He better get ready, too. Naruto. Puck said. Yeah. What's that? He asked as he looked at the brown gourd on his waist. You'll see. When they saw the witch cultists running past them, the clone Naruto hit the signal, and Emilia launched pre-prepared ice spears at them. Rem and the clone Naruto jumped down on the ground, starting to attack them in close combat. Thanks to Naruto's training and meditation, Rem was able to control her Oni mode well without losing control. Also, her movements have improved, as seen when she dodged the several daggers from the cultists as she swung Morningstar at their heads, making them literally pop like balloons. She then shot multitudes of ice spikes from her other hand at the rest of the group. Emilia moved on to another tree because the cultists spotted her and aimed at her by throwing their daggers. The half-elf continued to shoot ice spears at them and called out Puck's name. The spirit creature deflected the daggers, all the while shooting at the cultists with ice crystals. Then, the two landed on the ground safely. The clone Naruto jumped into the air, and slashed one cultist down with his kunai. He goes after the others who were targeting him. The witch cultists all used fireball magic on him while he's charging at them, but suddenly Sand grabbed their arms with an iron-like grip. Then, Sand crushed their arms, making them scream and stop their fireball magic. The blonde shinobi dashed toward them and slashed them by several swings with his kunai. These cultists were down, but there were still two left. Sabaku Q, Sand Coffin. He yelled as the sands shot toward the two last guys and trapped them into it. Emilia and the other two looked at Naruto, who controlled the sand. Sabaku Soso, Sand Burial. He clenches his fists to cause the sands to crush them. He sighed with relief that he and his friends defeated the cultists without letting them kill the villagers. The clone Naruto had a good report from Kurama. His relieved smile was shown because the other clones exterminated the cultists. The members of the witch cult were dead. Good news. My clones exterminated the other witch cultists, he said with a smile as he looked at his friends. We'll be fine here. That's good. Emilia smiled, feeling a little bad because she was celebrating someone's death. They deserved it though. While the plan went without a hitch, we can't stay here after we killed the witch cult. It's not safe. Puck said. Yeah, I see your point. Hey, Rem, when are we going to get our ride? The clone Naruto asked. Well, you told the leader of the village that you need a ride for us. So, it'll be here in time. Rem said. Good, good. The real Naruto was running to find the base of the witch cult and the leader of the group. His eyes weren't sapphire anymore, but they were yellow, with toad-like pupils with orange pigmentation around his eyes. He had good reports from his clones and Emilia, saying that they defeated the cultists. That was an easy and quick battle. Naruto was surprised to learn that one of the witch cultists bowed to one of his clone because he has the witch miasma, thinking he was one of them. Anyways, the cultists are dead for good and their leader is the last person. You ready? Kurama asked. Damn right I am. Naruto thought as he went out of the forest and found the cave where the enemies came out of. He then deactivated the Sennin mode because his natural energy could blow his cover off, if his witch miasma didn't do it first. There wasn't anybody there in the cave as he sensed for their mana, so maybe all of the cultists were gone already. Or they died already to him and his friends, all except their leader. Naruto sensed an aura coming from inside a path in the cave. A person came out of the cave with a creepy smile. His skin was a sickly white. He had short dark green hair and his emotionless eyes were gray. He wore a black, green, and red robe along with clerical attire. When he saw Naruto, his smile got a lot bigger. I am a Sin Archbishop representing Sloth, Beetlejuice Romanicanti. At your service. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.